So why did you feel this book needed to exist, the fund finance formula, that is, and what were you trying to fill in the finance space?
So the reason why I decided to write this book was, I was really mindful that if I was to write a book, I didn't want it to be like, the kind of finance books that already exist, because what's the point, And obviously it takes time to write books. It takes resources as well. Like, I didn't want trees to get chopped down for something that I just felt like, wasn't super meaningful. But I just had this realization one night, and it kind of like just brought everything together about finances and like how to be good with money and those sorts of things. And I was like, this is something that I can definitely write a book about. And that's why it exists. So basically the concept of the book is that a lot of people think that money is stressful and it's boring and it's dull and it's definitely not fun. But what I have noticed about the people that are successful with money, the people that are good with money, the people that succeed over the long term with their finances, they actually find a way to make it fun and they love it. They love doing it. And that's the reason why I wrote this book, because if you feel like money is boring and it's stressful and it's dull, I hope this book can give you maybe like a fresh perspective on it and like how you can make it fun. And then also for people that already see the joy in saving money, investing, building wealth, but maybe a little bit too extreme, because I definitely have been there as well. And maybe you're not living your life as joyfully as you could, and you feel like anxious about spending money on things that make you happy, then I hope this book can also give you some peace in knowing that it's okay to spend money on things that you want. It's okay to buy that coffee. It's okay to take that holiday and do those things. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, was there a specific moment in your own life where you tipped over the threshold from I'm stressed out money to it's exciting? Like, was there a flashpoint?
I think there was. So at the beginning of my financial journey, I moved out of home at 19. And my dad, I was actually raised by a single stay-at-home dad, and he was extremely frugal, like really frugal. For example, his toothbrush, it looks like it had survived a war. And like he would like squeeze every drop out of like toothpaste, cut things open to like get every last drop. And to be honest, I also am the same with like making sure that I use things up completely before I replace them. But then also I saw the flip side of how I saw how good it was because he didn't have to work. He was financially independent. But then I also saw the flip side of like how it cannot also be so good to have that mindset all the time. For example, my parents actually, the reason why they divorced was because of money, because my dad was so frugal. He was so like extreme. And my mom just wanted to live a little and to spend money and to enjoy life. And it was sad for me because I feel like both of their perspectives are valid and important. And it's just sad that they couldn't find that balance. And I didn't want to repeat that in my own life and to kind of like be so frugal that I never enjoy life and I never see the beauty of how sometimes money can actually buy you nice experiences.
Okay,
Yeah.
So on that, frugal dad and fun non-frugal mum, I get along very well with your mum, let me tell you. So when I talk about was there a moment, did you realise like, oh crap, I'm acting the way my dad did about money. I need to chill out and be a bit more like mum and enjoy life. Was that the self-realisation that I'm just doing what dad would do and looking in that looked painful?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I remember getting one of my first jobs and at that time we were saving for our first home. So we were renting and basically all of our money was going towards our deposit. And I remember going out for coffee with my friends and because we were saving so hard, we would just like go out for coffee and like not order anything. So we just sit there drinking our water. And like at the beginning, I was convincing myself that the reason why we were doing it was because we wouldn't have to do it forever. But then I guess you kind of get to a certain point where it's like it starts to just keep going on. And when you keep leveling up with your finances, like you might find excuses to like keep on going with those extreme behaviors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I think we had to draw the line in the sand and be like, it's okay to spend money. But I think the turning point was when I realized that you don't have to spend money on everything. You can spend money on the things that really make you happy and give you value for money. and you can save money in certain areas. So that's what I also
It's
like
interesting
to talk
there.
about.
So you just said, I was thinking like value-based budgeting or whatever that is. Value for money for you might be different than me. And it's not about like there is an objective, if you buy a Toyota, it's probably more value for money versus a GM or no, what are the MG, sorry.
Yeah.
So like there's objective like that costs more but it's better quality. But with our own personal finances, value for money is me, I'm literally taking this $50 and blowing it on XYZ because that's what I value, where someone else might not value that in their own life.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so important, and to figure out what those things are.
So you write in the book about chasing lucky money. Do you think parts of the FIRE movement kind of blur these lines between strategy and luck? Like, what's your view on that?
So in the book, I think, I know which part you're talking about. I actually talk about lucky money versus money that's skilled. And I guess my idea in the book is basically that there's money that's lucky and it comes to you kind of by chance. So, you find $20 on the street, or maybe you win the lotto or something like that. But it's really difficult to repeat and it's really hard to scale. Whereas there's money that is more skilled and it's still happy, but it's a different kind of money. So for example, working in a job that you love, doing work that you love, or investing in things that you enjoy investing in and earning money from that. Those are things that are like, it's in your control. Of course, there's a bit of luck involved still, but not as much as the lucky money. But it's also easier to replicate and scale because it's based on your skills. So I feel like a lot of the time we're taught in society that we kind of look at the people that win all the lucky money and it's like they won the lotto or I don't know, they got an inheritance or something like that. Or
yeah,
bonus.
You can't say, I bought a $2 lottery ticket and this week I won $23, so I'll just buy a $2 lottery ticket every week.
Exactly,
because there's no chance of that kind of happening.
Exactly, yeah. Whereas like your skilled money, it's deeply fulfilling, even though sometimes it's a bit hard to build. But once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to replicate and scale. And we shouldn't be looking at the people winning all the lucky money because they can't even control it themselves. It's not even something that they asked for. It just happened. Whereas the people that are earning the skilled money, those are the kinds of people that we could get inspiration from. And we're like, how did they earn that skilled money? Or like, what did they do,
So back to kind of like the FIRE movement, do you think, and I reckon that the vibe has toned down a lot on, in our personal finance circles because it's not even about retiring early. It's about financial freedom. Do you have like a 10-second, 20-second view on FIRE movement as at today or your experience?
Yeah, so I have an interesting perspective because I have friends that were really into the FIRE movement and I know this couple and they basically retired early in their 30s and it was really surprising because one day I sat down with them and I was like, so how's early retirement going? How's it all going? And they said something really surprising to me, which was they actually went back to work part-time. And I was like, why? You spent so long trying to build up your nest egg so that you could quit your jobs. Why are you going back? And their answer was surprising, but also not surprising at the same time. They basically missed work because work gives you structure and it gives you something to live for and a bit of like meaning in your day.
Yeah, I actually wrote down while you're talking purpose and dignity almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It
Not saying
feels
you can't
good.
get that from elsewhere because I also know people that have actually fired or retired at age 40 and younger and they might volunteer at a charity 2 days a week for that purpose and dignity in their life where they've got an output.
Exactly, yeah. So I feel like it makes sense. My dad also retired early. He was kind of forced to by the courts in order to get full custody of me. And although he loved like the freedom and it was nice that he didn't have to stress about money because he had investments, even though we had a bit of a frugal lifestyle, I could see that he missed work and he still talks about his job. Like he loved it so much. And I kind of think that, retiring early is great, but I think also part of it is finding work that you really enjoy, that you would want to do forever.
Yeah.
And maybe not full time and maybe not so stressful, but just gives you a bit of meaning and contribution. Like you said, that dignity. You know?
Hey, it's Glenn here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You made it to the end. Can I ask a favor? Can you hit that like button and maybe hit subscribe if you want to get notified when we release further videos just like this one, whether you watch the Money, Money, Money podcast or Retire Right. And remember, if you want to learn more about investing, I've got an investing book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, and there's a link in the description to get your hands on a copy. Thank you so much. Bye.